Is your body trying to tell you that you need more dopamine? Not sure? Do you have feelings of lethargy and lack the motivation to get out of bed? Do you run into problems often? Do you remember what you read just now? If this is the case, you could have a dopamine deficiency. Dopamine is the chemical responsible for your ability to concentrate, as well as your motivation and pleasure. It gives you an uneasy sensation. Invincible. This neurotransmitter is essential for the proper functioning of your brain. Recognizing the drop in dopamine levels and increasing its levels can help increase one's ability to concentrate and pay attention. Additionally, it will assist in the improvement of your mood and inventiveness, as well as the ability to anticipate issues and exercise self-control. But unlike popular belief, it is possible to increase dopamine levels without resorting to illegal or harmful methods or substances. In the following video, we will go through a variety of risk-free ways to increase your natural dopamine levels. Consuming coffee might offer benefits as well as drawbacks. Is it true that exercise provides a natural boost to the brain? What sorts of alterations to the diet are recommended by the specialists? All of this and more is being discussed right now. To begin started, make sure you get enough sleep. If you have trouble getting adequate sleep, it could be a big factor contributing to your poor performance. Wellness of the mind. Make every attempt to get at least 7 hours of rejuvenating, restful sleep each night. Every single night it has the ability to automatically adjust your levels of dopamine. It is necessary for the molecule of dopamine to interact with the dopamine receptors. These are the chemicals in the brain that are responsible for making dopamine that can be utilized by the body. Dopamine receptors are known for their extreme sensitivity. Moreover, research have shown that having too little sleep can be harmful to one's health or even fatal. Dopamine is involved. The number of receptors that are active in people's brains the morning after pulling an all-nighter is significantly reduced. Dopamine is the neurotransmitter responsible for producing alertness in humans. Its concentrations fall off on their own accord, increase in the morning when it's time to get up out of bed, and decrease in the evening when it's time to go to bed. However, not getting enough sleep will throw off this biological pattern. The dopamine receptors found in the brain of an individual. When a person is awakened after being made to stay awake all night, their cognitive functions are considerably impaired the next morning. Additionally, the sensitivity of your dopamine receptors will decrease, which will cause you to feel weary and have poor coordination. Therefore, you should never scrimp on the time you spend sleeping. Getting some fresh air and exposure to the sun is also very important. Increasing your time spent in natural light may be the simplest and most effective strategy to raise dopamine levels. Dopamine can be stimulated into production by exposure to sunlight. Having this routine in place every morning will cause your natural 24-hour cycle to become established. But make sure you don't use your contact lenses when you go outside, eyewear, or sunglasses. In this manner, you will experience a significant increase in dopamine. When exposed to sunshine, your skin will create vitamin D, which is a vitamin that is fat-soluble. According to studies, 50% of the population may be at risk for vitamin D deficiency, which can lead to low bone density, amounts of dopamine in the system. However, treatment with vitamin D3 can increase the amount of dopamine that is released. This strategy is more likely to be successful during the warm months of summer and spring. But when the sun came up, it's hard to come by during the winter. You have the option of purchasing a vitamin D sun lamp or taking a vitamin D supplement. After getting dressed in the morning, the next thing you should probably do is get a cup of coffee. That's not a typo, you read that correctly. The first thing that millions of people all over the world do when they get up is grab a cup of coffee, or other beverages that contain caffeine like tea. Dopamine production can be increased by as much as 1 cup, and the degree to which it is bioavailable. Before you go to the gym in the morning, you might want to enjoy a cup of coffee beforehand. However, after 3:00 p.m., you should cut back on your consumption of coffee. It may cause sleep problems and reduce the amount of dopamine in your system. Caffeinated beverages, such as soda and even green tea, should be avoided in the hours leading up to bedtime since they can disrupt dopamine levels. Production. Important to remember is that once you hit the dopamine high that coffee provides, your dopamine levels will continue to rise. Levels start to decline. If you like the way you feel after drinking just 1 cup of coffee, you might want to consider become accustomed to it, which could lead to dependency on the caffeine. So keep in mind that moderation is the most important thing. The next step is to manipulate the hormone that causes happiness by remaining active. One of the finest methods to keep in excellent physical and mental condition is to exercise regularly. Dopamine levels in the brain can be improved in a natural way by engaging in physical activity. Exercising on a regular basis has been shown in a great number of studies to increase the neurotransmission of dopamine. Involves the release of dopamine and the production and binding of receptors. Exercising speeds down dopamine breakdown. Even the blood flow to the brain can be improved by this method. In most cases, Parkinson's disease is brought on by the death of cells in the body that produce dopamine. This results in a dysfunction of the dopamine system. However, exercises that increase dopamine levels may be beneficial. Patients suffering from Parkinson's disease and other neurological conditions, such as Alzheimer's disease and dementia, or diseases related to substance addiction. According to the findings of a study, patients with Parkinson's who worked out on a treadmill had more dopamine receptors in their brains than those who did not exercise. Do you consider exercising to be a challenging endeavor? The next step is to pick an aerobic exercise or a sport that appeals to you. You will not become bored, and as a result, you will continue to exercise. Do you follow your workouts with a shower under a chilly stream of water? Dopamine will be simplified as a result. You can bring down the temperature of your body by taking a shower with cool water. On days when you do not have a workout scheduled, you can conclude your regular bath with a brisk shower to get a good workout. Water. Begin by immersing yourself for 1 minute in ice water. After that, progressively add more time to the total duration. Dopamine levels can be dramatically increased by taking a shower at 57 degrees Fahrenheit, according to some surprising studies. Levels by as much as 250%. This method is more efficient than consuming coffee on a daily basis. Proponents. People who take cold showers believe that they boost their mood and increase the amount of work they get done throughout the day. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter that can be naturally increased by being exposed to cold temperatures. Because of this, it is acceptable to occasionally go outside in the cold without wearing a lot of clothing. Can help a few. Having said that, don't go to ridiculous lengths. You can put your hands, feet, or both into the water, or submerge your face in icy water for 1 to 2 minutes. It could make one feel a little uneasy at times. However, in the end, the favorable results make the effort worthwhile. Determine what works best for you and make it a habit to do it. Are you looking for a fun technique to trigger the release of dopamine? Enjoy some good music. Mood and emotional regulation can be achieved by non-medical means such as listening to music. Reactions. Alterations in behavior and neurological function have even been observed in certain individuals. This fills them with joy. It's possible that listening to music can lower cortisol levels and raise oxytocin levels, and encourage your body to produce additional dopamine. These hormones in their entirety are wonderful for the health of the brain. Create a playlist with some of the songs that are your favorites. When you are feeling unmotivated, it can be useful to have this, or listless. It activates the parts of the brain that are responsible for pleasure and gets you moving. Would you like to take things a step further? Start writing your own musical pieces, putting on a show, and being creative. Dopamine levels are significantly increased by playing music, as opposed to just listening to it. Music therapy even has the potential to help those who have Parkinson's disease. Researchers have shown that listening to music can improve a person's motor skills. Patients in this category. Now put on some headphones, turn up the volume of your favorite song, and enjoy the experience. Moving on, try meditating for a while to get your thoughts under control. Do not be reluctant, as the practice of meditation does not need you to adhere to a predetermined set of rules. It is a very private practice that gives you the opportunity to concentrate on your inner self. People who meditate on a regular basis have a more lucid state of mind. There is no single correct answer to meditate. You can carry it out when you're standing, sitting, or even moving around. It doesn't matter. There is some evidence that regular meditation practice is associated with improved mental and physical health. However, if you are feeling overwhelmed, you should begin with a modest amount and gradually increase it. Start with 5 minutes once a day, every day during the course of a week. It depends more on what you are capable of and what you want to do. Eventually, you are going to keep at it for a longer period of time. The findings of a recent study are as follows. After participating in the study, 8 seasoned meditation teachers reported a 65% increase in dopamine production, merely sitting in meditation for 1 hour. Meditation is a practice that can actually assist you in keeping a positive mindset, as well as inspiration. When exactly do you plan to sit down for your first meditation session and set some time aside for it? Next, give more attention to your eating habits and routines. It's possible that eating fatty foods is the culprit behind how awful you feel all the time. It can be difficult at times to differentiate between healthy and unhealthy types of fat. Saturated fat, sometimes known as bad fat, is a mainstay of foods that are derived from animals, such as butter, cheese, yogurt, and meats. They are essential only under limited circumstances. Quantities. It's possible that eating a lot of saturated fat will raise your cholesterol levels and make you gain weight, heart disease, or stroke risk. In addition, there are specialists who are of the opinion that diets which are heavy in saturated fat may induce an increase in inflammation throughout the body, which will have an effect on how the dopamine system works. Because of this, it is extremely important to consume food that is high in nutrients. It has the potential to raise dopamine levels as well as overall health. A diet rich in almonds, eggs, salmon, and chicken will help increase levels of the feel-good chemical dopamine in the body. Diet. They have a high protein content and are a good source of a particular amino acid known as tyrosine. Your body. The synthesis of dopamine molecules calls for the presence of this substance. Alternate between these foods and probiotics such as yogurt, kefir, and sauerkraut. Yogurt and kefir. They have naturally occurring microorganisms that have been shown to stimulate the body's production of dopamine. In conclusion, taking a few supplements regularly can do wonders for your mental health. The levels of neurotransmitters can be increased by multiple natural supplements in their own unique methods. One of the most widely used dietary supplements nowadays is curcumin. This chemical has bioactive properties, a component of turmeric. Because of this chemical, there is an increase in the amount of dopamine found in the brain, can pass across the barrier that separates the blood and the brain with ease. According to recent studies, curcumin is equally as beneficial as using antidepressant medication to treat one's depression. However, this makes it challenging for your physical body. In order for the body to absorb curcumin on its own, simply make sure to purchase a supplement that consists of piperine. This ingredient found in black pepper has been shown to increase the body's ability to absorb curcumin by a whopping 2,000%. Second, make sure you have enough magnesium in your diet. Numerous individuals are subjected to the unsettling, the negative effects of not getting enough magnesium. This essential mineral is utilized in the following. There are 300 unique metabolic processes going on in your body. In addition to this, it is necessary in order for a normal and healthy function of neurotransmitters. Supplemental magnesium may have antidepressant qualities. You might also want to try taking pills containing omega-3 fatty acids. If you are following a vegetarian or vegan diet, it can be challenging to obtain this necessary nutrient just from plant sources, despite the fact that it can be found in nuts and seeds. The most important source of omega-3 fatty acids is only seafood. The researchers made an observation that in one experiment, where omega-3 fatty acids were given to mice, the results were as follows. The brains of the animals had 40% more dopamine than the brains of the control animals. It is highly recommended that you include ginkgo biloba in the collection of supplements that you take on a daily basis. This component is a component of a lot of different brain supplements. It has been put to use for the past several thousand years to attend to any medical concerns. It increases the amount of blood that flows to the brain, which in turn helps boost memory, improves your mental clarity while decreasing the likelihood that you may develop Alzheimer's disease or dementia. Keep in mind that it is almost always a wise decision to obtain the doses of the supplements that have been measured and calibrated by your healthcare provider. It will do that. Differ from person to person based on the mental and physical status of the individual. Your brain serves as the primary command and control organ of your body. To keep functioning, it needs food that is high in quality and nutrition optimally. Why, therefore, should we continue to give it junk food when there are so many superfoods available? What kinds of natural techniques are you interested in using to get that dopamine rush? Thanks for watching.